And we're back. Alright. So, let's go ahead and continue on where we were, which I guess is heading in this direction. Dark and spooky. Looks like a fairly realistic house. Just neato. And my phone's going off like crazy because I forgot to mute it again. Oh, this should be fine. So we've got a lamppost, but also a telephone box. Oh. Oh. Spooky telephone box. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too?
It's a conversation.
Huh.
And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
The furniture maze, the escape tutorial, the reverse prison. We were in all of them, so... That's where I am right now. Oh, I'm so glad to know that I get out eventually. What's it like to escape? I'm already forgetting what being in the prison was like. In a way, I kind of miss being in the prison. It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Do you feel any different? Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. I'm really the same person as I was back then, or I don't feel like the same person at all. Oh good! That's so nice to hear. That makes me feel really happy. Age just kinda does that. I'm still me, but I'm not somehow. Remember to enjoy who you are right now. It won't last. Let's go with still me. Well, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? Be sincere. Tell me how you feel. Talk with me. To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. I like that one. What? That will free me? How does that work? You can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Sincere about what? That's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Interesting. That is pretty nice, to be honest.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Ooh. Yeah, I recognize that door.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Ooh, and an actual, fairly realistic looking house. And a door that locks behind us. Ooh. Oh, hey. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Lousy homes make homeowners. Ha! Something tells me you're going to be fun to do this job with. Well, this place isn't going to clean itself, as far as I know. I'll finish up here. In the meantime, could you please clear the table? Okay. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? Ooh, got a nice little bathroom in here. And hey, here's the bedroom. Let's make the bed. All fancy. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the little details matter. So, how'd you end up doing this job? A friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. Never did like cleaning my own home. I might have got some demons I ain't ready to face. Speaking of demons, someone's put this couch all in a mess. Would you come out and straighten these pillows here? Simple enough. Looks like someone spilled a drink. Yeah, I noticed that. Let me mop that up while you're over there. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. No, it was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Oh, alright. God, I wish washing dishes was that easy. Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Hey, look. Are there still books scattered on the floor in the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the
After the
table?
intense set of prison games, this house cleaning almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
That's weird. Clearing the dishes again is sort of spooky. Huh. Do these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to future you? Present you wants to smooth out the rug in the bedroom, believe it or not. Trust me on this one.
Actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Looks like the tub has gotten rather dirty. Okay, that's... Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. There's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so... housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Thanks. I am still intensely weirded out by all the stuff getting messy again after I've already cleaned it. And the pillows on the couch are a real
I'm glad he
mess.
made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Can't have these folks coming home to a messy couch. Question. Do you enjoy this?
Of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Huh. I don't know about you guys, but this area was kind of spooky to me. Also kind of weird how the windows all just sort of disappeared. But whatever. So yeah.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Uh-oh. Thoughts? Items you love at members-only
This one gets
prices.
a bit goofy.
I'm good with goofy. Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being
the perspective
perfect
shifts.
is effortless. Oh. That's...
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Huh. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Kids should not follow their dreams. Let's go with the first one, since it's yellow. How do I achieve it with no effort? Well, let me tell you right now, it isn't effortless. If it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Huh. You can say the gray options. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Do you understand that you won't be happy until you love me? This is for you. Ew, I'm developing a cyst. Gross. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? Just kidding. You don't want to do some ecstasy after this? There is no truth, there is no path. Do what is easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true. Holy shit, you guys, something's coming out of the back of the room. Look out! Nothing, no one. It's coming for you. It's going to destroy you. Everyone run! Run!
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Oof. That one's heavy and weird.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Alright, we're in a green room, backstage. This way to the stage. Hey, look, it's a stage. Oof. This is, actually surprisingly well done. Like, yeah, this is what a stage like this looks like. I was in theater back in high school, and so we had a stage, obviously not as big as this one, but decently big, and oof. Oh, alright, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Oh, well, okay. Good. Stay right there. The woman across the room, in this chair, is a professional photographer of animals. It is your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello? Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I'm super scared right now. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent people nearby. Now, talk to her again. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. Ah! You're messing it all up again. You'll figure out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Ooh. Try stepping back from the stage. Oof. That's pretty spoopy. Just big, giant hallway to nothing. I just keep... Whoa! Okay. That was weird. I guess we keep going this way. Oh. Okay, yes. Now this is working.
The game ends
this
with
is what it was like.
Premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety.
That's perfect.
To fears
Wonderful.
of
This
having
is
to
really
perform
wonderful.
And having to chase success. The answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Jeez. Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna open my eyes. Whoa! I'm going to be killed by a giant door. That's a giant door.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Tell me how to solve this. Can't see anything either. I am blind! No, I have no idea where we are. Hey, wait. You know there's a door coming. Can we do anything? What can we do? Can't die like this. I can't die like this. What's going on? There's a giant door, and then my vision went black. Tell me how to solve this. No, okay. I need to try to find my supplies? No, I'm gonna try... Ah! Truth. The only way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth.
Like I said, I was getting concerned.
It's
First off,
draining.
he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
I'm gonna feel really sad if Coda kills himself at the end of the story. You're doing it. It's working. We're going to be okay.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out.
Ugh.
After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Hello? Oh. Ooh. Where did this island come from? Is anyone there? Ooh. Is that a person? How lovely! It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm completely out of ideas. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give my work. Oh, just got stuck there a moment. Oh no, what happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going, and it stopped. Trying to find this engine that used to protect me. It started again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped. I can take you to it, but there's a problem.
If the last game featured
It's
Coda
guarded by a
talking
difficult
explicitly
puzzle.
about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
Huh. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal? Doesn't matter what I say, does it? I'm going to end up there one way or another, right? Deal. I didn't even press deal. Ooh, a Tori. Perfect. Come along, I'll show it to you. Huh. So Tori tend to be, you know, gates to the spirit world or the land of the dead or whatever you want to call it. At least in, you know, Japanese mythology where they're from.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
I recognize this. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. Alright, what's next? Now just press the switch here. Huh, that was so simple.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness.
Can't believe I've never solved it before
doesn't
this.
work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash. And another Tori. Oh. Okay, here we are. These are just words on some walls. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. Okay. Sure, making games is easy. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why did I feel so awful when I said that? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. Oof, gosh. This is heavy duty. When I make games, I feel completely energized.
Yes, that's wonderful.
Seeing this game
Keep
at the time
going.
he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Just never stop creating and you'll never feel bad. Perfect. That feels
This is someone I
fantastic.
really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Please, where is the machine? Patience, you have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please, continue. Pain breezes effortlessly off of me. Yes, more. Keep
I
going.
don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
I believe this unquestioningly. I am a vessel for certainty. Incredible. That's it. I'm free. I'm free.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
So who was the woman in the machine? Who was the woman in the prison? What was she? That was definitely a first. First time any character that showed up in the game has been not a mannequin. Ma'am, glad to see you've arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. Intend to be quick, intend to be quiet, intend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Oof. Poisonous games. Oof.
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. Those people out there, can you imagine what pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? So here's what needs to happen. You need to go out and apologize to them. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No? Nothing? Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I've seen the thing you fear. I think what you choose doesn't matter. It's all the options are Alright then, I will apologize to the people on your behalf. My followers, my friends. It falls on me to deliver bad news. I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. This is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. Huh. Well, that gun hasn't showed up in a while.
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
Holy crud.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive.
Whew.
And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Down your weapon. No. Don't hurt Coda. No. Oh, jeez. I can't move. I can't turn around. I bet there's one button that works, though. I just don't want to push it.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Okay. That was... Jeez. Tower. Okay. Got
And
it.
this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
This is haunting, really.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Whoa, whoa,
Except
whoa.
that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the level, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Oof. Yeah, okay. Let's just go with the bridge, shall we? Whew. A game that actively punishes the player.
And to be fair, it's
For
not like
playing
this
it.
is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
Deeper idea. That life is full of obstacles that we can't even see coming, and when you run into them, they just cause pain and misery, and you have to start over. But it doesn't get any easier.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Okay. 1 5 1 6 1 1, 7. All these points of light and stairs and doorways, and yeah, haunting is definitely the right word.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
Yeah, I know how that is.
I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Let's leave it open just in case.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
Oh,
I don't know why I would be. It's not like
sweetie.
everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them...
Interesting that there's 2 ways.
I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. 3 dots. Coda. Oh, that's somewhat new.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Yeah, it's really hard to want to help someone, to want to be there for someone, but they can't accept your help. They won't accept it. It feels like it's your fault.
Where did I screw up?
Yeah. Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I am making these games for you. You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer,
the people who played them,
would it make you any happier?
They treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them. The narrator was adding the lampposts. How much of what he's told us has been false?
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people.
Would you simply let them be
I just
what
had
they
to
are?
be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks, and that you can make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
wasn't Coda who had the problem. It was the narrator.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease. Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you. If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable.
Yeah.
Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
I totally understand that.
What now? I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
And so we're left with whatever this is alone. No narrator, no coda, just us in these huge mausoleums and strange blocks with holes in them and skylights and hallways. And far-off noises. Thunder? Gunfire? The beam. Well, it's obvious what we need to do with it. Oof. Oh. Out in the forest and below us stretches just a massive labyrinth. Off into the distance, in every direction. And above there's stars and clouds. And below only lines.
Turn back from this cave. You said, let me prove that I'm brave. Let me keep going. But the cave goes for miles and miles and miles, and you're so tired, but I know that you're strong, so turn back, turn back.
And there we are. That's the end. I'm not entirely sure what to make of it. It was certainly something. Yeah. So, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Yeah.